I probably should know how to do that. But, okay, my name's Richard. I visited Troy in September 2009. It's very nice to be able to share some memories of that because it was an amazing trip. In September 2008, I think I first heard about Troy's case. I think it was probably on Democracy Now! It was probably listening to Martina talking about an impending date for execution for Troy. As Kate mentioned, Troy was convicted of shooting Mark Allen MacPhail, a police officer. He was off duty. And Martina always says this is not about one family against another family. Mark Allen MacPhail was a heroic police officer who was running to the aid of someone he didn't know. He was working as a security guard in a bus station, and he just heard a commotion and he ran towards it rather than running away from it. He should really be the person that everyone makes a fuss about. I went to the parking lot where it happened, and there's nothing there. There's no memorial to him, and there should be one because he was a hero, and he left a wife and young children, a family. And I think all of our thoughts are with him and with his family as much as they are with the Davis family, and that's right. That's how it should be. So in September 2009, I went over to visit Troy. Amnesty UK were going over. Kim Manning-Cooper was going. And you don't just get to go to death row and be a visitor. You have to fill out forms, a bit like if you're filling out a visa. And you have to describe your relationship to the person who you're going to see. And I'd never met the guy, but I was told to say I was a friend. And that, in a way, is kind of all we need to say, because I think all of us here, we might not have met the guy, but we're doing what friends do, which is standing up for somebody. And I think that's a pretty amazing thing to do. So we took Interstate 75 south from Atlanta. You get off at exit 201. It's a bit like the A1. It's pretty boring. And there's a truck stop, and opposite the truck stop is this brick sort of gate entrance, and it just says in white letters, Georgia Diagnostic and Classification Prison, which doesn't really tell you what's there. We took the driveway down, all you see is trees, and then you come around a corner and suddenly you see a bigger fence than you can ever imagine. We were met at the gate by Officer Barabbas, which is pretty incredible. And we had to. You can't take anything in. You can't take your. You can't be wearing a belt. You have to literally turn your pockets inside out. Go through metal detectors like getting on a plane. The only thing you can take in are quarters. 25-cent pieces for the vending machines inside. You go past all these gates, the kind that you go past one and then it shuts behind you before the next one opens. And there's a sign above one of those gates that says, make a difference. Eventually we got to this holding cell, which had a huge iron bar door and a slot in it for a tray, which is, it turns out it's the room that they hold prisoners in before they're to be executed. And Troy had been held in there before. Eventually Troy appeared, and he just came in and he just said, I don't do handshakes, I do hugs. He has the most amazing smile and a really soft voice. When you hear clips of him talking on the phone, it's the phone thing. You don't get to hear how soft and kind his voice is. There's no anger in his voice. Anyway, we got him some chicken nuggets with barbecue sauce from the vending machines, put them in the microwave, heated them up. It was incredibly hot in there and really humid. I don't know if any of you have been to that part of the world, but it's like 95% humidity. It's incredibly hot, and they'd switched the aircon off. I don't really know why, but they had. I asked him a little bit about describing his day-to-day life. And I noticed he was wearing glasses. And you see he's wearing glasses in the photo. He never used to wear glasses, but most prisoners on death row end up wearing glasses because they never get to see beyond the prison walls. It's not like one of these buildings with windows on the outside. They only have windows on the inside. So a prisoner can never see further than the wall opposite. And so eventually their eyesight starts to deteriorate. The same goes for their knees. They only ever walk on concrete, so their joints start to give way. He was telling me how there's no access to nature. They get really excited if a bird flies in an open window. They put sheets up to stop it getting out, because then they can all experience what a bird flying around. And occasionally a bird will nest in one of the sort of, I don't know, on a window ledge, and they can see it. And they get so excited, and they all turn into birders, because they're excited to see some nature. And if grass grows between paving stones in the recreation area, they've been known to, he was saying, people will pick up that blade of grass and just to touch it, just to feel what it's like. Troy had a visit from Al Sharpton in 2008, and the warden let them go out into a prison garden area, which is the first time in 10 years that he had been able to walk on grass, not concrete. So he took his shoes off, and he said it was like the Shawshank Redemption. The idea of somebody on death row watching a film about people getting off death row and out of prison, I thought was incredible. He loves his reading. You can have 7 books or magazines at a time. I think it rotates every week, and he said that he has to stop himself from reading stuff too quickly, because otherwise it'll get to halfway through the week and he'll have nothing new to read. As we've heard, he gets so much mail that sometimes he has to go to the mail room rather than them bring the mail to him, because the bags are too heavy, and that's down to a lot of you sending in post, like Angus, for example. And depending on the day, the rotation day, they get 3 or 6 hours outside their cells in a day. So if you imagine, he's spent 20 years spending either 21 hours or 18 hours per day in the same cell. So I just wanted to address why we're here. Martina maintains that it's activism that has kept Troy alive. On the 17th of July 2007, he was supposed to be executed. On the 23rd of September 2008, he was supposed to be executed. And on the 27th of October 2008, he was supposed to be executed. And now it's the 21st of September 2011, he's supposed to be executed. So it's not unprecedented. We can stop this from happening. We all know that there's too much doubt around his case, and we're here to make noise about it. I think they will have heard it when you shouted. I don't claim to know him very well. I've only met him once. He's a humble man, and he would want to say thank you to all of you, and he would be humbled by this. He wouldn't believe that there are this many people so far from where he's from that have turned out to see it, to send their best wishes for him. And I'm kind of keen on Twitter, and I managed to I saw a message that he had written a couple of days ago earlier, that somebody had tweeted out, and I'm just going to read it to you. A message of thanks from Troy Davis. I want to personally thank each and every one of you. You lift my spirits every single day. When I wake up and feel helpless, I thank God there are people like you taking on my cause. I'm asking you to do this for me on September the 16th, to raise your voice loud, because I cannot. Raise your voice so very loud that you're heard all the way here to Georgia. I've done enough time for someone else's crime. I'm ready to be a free man. Raise your voice for me, for my freedom. Thank you so very much, and God bless you. Troy Anthony Davis, September the 14th, 2011. Thanks a lot.
Oh, you're very tall.